Hello, everyone. Welcome to, excuse me, welcome to, let's try that again, Core Care. We've got 15 to 20 minutes here together where we are going to really just love our abdominal section. There are so many different seasons of life that you may find yourself in where you are finding that you really need to not care about your core in terms of caring more about how it looks, but just giving it more love and attention for its best and proper function. The reason why I called this class Core Care is because we're not here to blast our abs or go hard through different high intensity movements. We're here to be very gentle, very loving, and very attentive to the needs of our core right where it is. So if you are experiencing maybe some abdominal separation, maybe you currently are pregnant or just recently had a baby, or maybe had a baby 10, 15, 40 years ago, if you're just getting back into exercise, if you find yourself just overcompensating different parts of your body because you feel like your core is maybe not as strong as you'd like for it to be, these are some really helpful exercises to keep in your back pocket to begin practicing just whenever you have a few minutes to give attention to this midsection. We're only going to go through each exercise once, and what I love about this workout is I'm just going to have some music playing in the background. I would love for you to practice, of course, participate along with me, but these are movements that you can jot down, maybe give each one of it your own name, and you could also replay this video, drown me out, okay? Once you know the tips and once you have a good idea of how you should be performing the movements, go ahead and mute me, and you can play your own music and just go through some of these gentle exercises on your own. Set your own music so that you can start, mid, or end your day the way that you would like to. So we're going to go ahead and just get warmed up. Notice I have a mat here, so we obviously will be doing some work on the floor, but we're not going to be using any weight. This is all body weight, no extra equipment. It's just us, okay? It's just you. It's just us on the floor being one, and I'm so sorry. I was not expecting that. We're going to turn that way down. Really hope your TV speakers are not blown out. Okay, this is just going, again, like I said, in the background. We're going to keep things very calm in terms of music so that we can kind of center in on the muscles at work. So let's go ahead and just take our hips into all the directions. We will start with a little bit of a warm-up, keeping those knees slightly bent as you go through a full 360, front, side, and back, holding it here, and then pushing back out and around. We're going to go through just some basic form tips when we're doing any sort of abdominal work, what it means to engage, what we should be visualizing and sensing and feeling. All right, take one arm up and bring it right back. We're not going to hold any stretch for too long. Right back here, a few more. And bring it back. One more. Big stretch. All right, and sit high there, and bring it down. As you reach over, we're not trying to reach to the side and collapse. We're reaching up, kind of thinking towards the top corner of the ceiling. One more. Good. Okay, let's expand those arms out, flexing at the back, hyperextending, and now flexing forward. Good. Again, hyperextend back, chest forward, booty back, and down. Really contracting, flexing, and extending through the spine. Good warm up there. All right, hands in. We're going right and left. Notice the bottom half is staying right where it is. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and focus on isolating the core. Gentle twist. We're not going super fast, and we're not overly bearing down. We're just moving our spine through the motion. Okay, now we're going to practice some core engagement. If you have access to a wall, I want you to go place your back heels up against the wall, like so. Okay, all the way up against it. Pretend my heels are on a wall. Booty, shoulders, head, everything is pressed up against the wall. Now as you inhale, let your diaphragm expand. As you exhale, try to draw the belly button towards the back wall. Try to get your lower back to hit the back wall so that everything is pressed up against it. This is core engagement. Visualize these side muscles wrapping around. Okay, we're not trying to suck our belly button inside of our bodies. We are wrapping the outer layer and pulling it around, girdling all those deep internal layers. Now inhale, release. Lower the shoulders, feel it expand through the lungs, through the diaphragm. Now exhale, draw the belly button in. Go ahead and position your fingers like this. As you inhale, feel it separate. As you exhale, bring the fingers together. Good, let's try it one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Pull it in. Knees stay soft. Everything's up nice and straight. And from this engaged position, let's go ahead and move to the floor. You should be able to breathe through this. Remember, we've got 10 exercises that we're going to walk through. Okay. All the way down. So our bodies have been into motion. We're not just starting off completely cold. Now, little tip. I'm going to take off my shoes. When you're returning to abdominal exercise, especially if you have any concern about the anatomy of your abdomen muscles right now, any weight that you can remove from the lower half will just make the exercise that much more gentle. So I'm removing my shoes so that I can be a little bit more weightless in the lower half. We're going to start rolling all the way down here with my notes, my cheat sheet, so I can at least know the next 2 moves at a time to try to get this to flow from one exercise to the next. Lift your arms up over your head. That elongates the core. Feet are flat on the ground, and we're going to lift one knee up and then the other. Now, keeping the left knee there, we're going to drop the right and then pick it up. Drop the left and pick it up. Good, just like this. As you extend that leg down, you should feel a little bit of activation in the lower half, really throughout the entire abdomen, but in the lower half of that side that you're extending. So what do we want to call this? It's kind of like a dead bug move, except our arms are extended. That might give you some inspiration. Just gonna go through the movement. When your hips are flexed like this, it makes it a little bit easier to keep the lower back on the ground, which is super important. You don't want to be able to slide your hand under, just nice and flat. Let's go for a few more. Now, when you're repeating this move on your own, you can set the number of reps, maybe 10, 12, 16 per side. Okay, last one. Good. Go ahead and lower the feet onto the ground. Take your hands down by your side. Now, I'll go ahead and pause and say here, if you are further along in your pregnancy, please listen to your doctor and know that maybe some exercises lying flat on your back for too long can be dangerous. So use your own discretion here. We've got our feet flat. Now, instead of just pushing up into a bridge, we're going to go very slowly and roll, starting from our glutes, rolling all the way up to our rib cage. So we're going to press up slow, almost like a reverse body roll, pressing up, and now starting from the top to unwind, coming down. Good, just like that. So it's one vertebrae at a time, rolling up and holding, starting at the top, letting your mid back, lower back, ultimately all the way down to your lumbar and your glutes. As you return to the floor, roll up. Take an inhale at the top. Exhale as you roll down. Slow and controlled. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Roll up. Wrapping around. Inhale. Exhale. So notice every time you inhale, that's when your diaphragm is expanding. So it's on the exhale that you're really contracting and squeezing and engaging. Keep that in mind anytime you do abdominal work. Good. Sometimes these slower movements can kind of be harder to stay mentally engaged. Good. Okay, I like this next exercise coming up. So from here, we're going to turn to our side and press up from here, but then come right back here into the supine position. From here, fingers are pointed towards your feet. We're going to extend these legs out, straighten the arms up, not locking out the elbows, but straight. And from here, we're just going to very slowly practice pushing our hips up and back down. Getting a little bonus shoulder stretch here too. But I love that this really encourages a nice flat engagement. Our stomach is not coning. You never want to see the muscles come together and make a point. That means there's pressure pushing your ab muscles out. And we want to keep them engaged, controlled, and pulled in. So we're lifting just as high as you can. No pressure here. Let's just do a couple more of these so you can see how it feels. And down. One more. Remember, any height achieved is a success. There and down. Good. Okay, from here, let's turn to our side. I love side planks for a gentle core workout because it really does put our bodies in a nice, safe alignment to not put too much pressure on these front abdominal muscles. So with everything in alignment, shoulder down to the elbow, we're simply just going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. You can use your hand to kind of feel. It's good to just stay in tune with the muscles at work. Lifting up and down. Good. A few more. We're going to double up exercises on this side before we switch sides. Now, if you want to keep that leg elevated as you lift up, that's just another option. Let's go one more. See how this feels. Good. Okay, let's release and put our hand on the ground now and lift all the way up into this side plank. Okay, so we're still in alignment. Adjust if you need to. If you want to stay on your forearm, that is acceptable. We're going to keep our hips lifted up and now lift this leg up. This is one of the more challenging moves of this workout. Be kind to yourself here. We're going to tap in front, lift, and tap straight down. Okay, neutral hip. Lift up, tap forward, up, tap down. Good. This works some of the mysterious interior muscles deep, deep down between your abdominal muscles, all the way through your pelvic floor. Good, total body health here. Tap in front. There's a lot of balance. I'm feeling shaky, but know that your core is safe, and that'll help you know to press through the discomfort. Good, let's go. One more. And back down. Good, let's sit. Oh, that feels like a nice hip stretch if you ask me. Okay, let's turn to the other side. Okay, same thing. We're gonna lift up and lower down. Good, lift up and lower. Up. Looking to see that the knees are stacked. One more. Good, okay, take it all the way up to the wrist or stay right where you are, whatever your preference. We're lifted, lift the leg up. Good, tap in front, lift and tap here. So you are using your core to enable this movement. I know this feels like a lower body exercise, and of course, It's nice to incorporate some other muscles. That's a nice cheat sheet way to bring the paper closer to me. But your core is the one that's having to stabilize and guide that leg through the front and then back. Remember that breathing. Love your body right where it is. One more. And back. Okay, now from here, we're just going to turn towards the floor in this position right here. So one leg is still extended. Let's go ahead and just keep that same leg extended. From here, we're simply going to lower down as that leg lifts and then back up. This looks like a push-up, and in a lot of ways, obviously, it is. But as that leg comes up, that's going to take a lot of the pressure off of your core. It's strengthening it and working it in a way that is safe while still being effective. Push-ups can be pretty intense for a lot of muscle groups, and if they're not developed properly, you could find yourself out of form pretty quickly. Let's go 2 more. That base leg is feeling it. Didn't get to stretch that hip. Elbows are down and back. And let's go ahead and switch. Other leg straight. And we're keeping it on the floor. We're not keeping it elevated. It's on the floor. It only raises as you lower down. Good. Remember, this decline position means that it's also safe for that lower back because the leg is allowing for good alignment through the spine. Trying to just barely get close enough to where you can smell the floor. Maybe not touch it, but maybe go cross-eyed when you're looking at it. Elbows are down and back. Good. Just a few more. And by a few, I mean a couple. We're doing one more here. Good. Okay, from this position, bring both feet in. Walk your hands up. And this is a good alternative to squats. If the pressure of going down into a squat puts a little bit too much load on that pelvic floor, if it's uncomfortable, we're going to be here in a kneeling position. Sit back and raise up. Let's start with our arms out, coming down, sitting on the heels, lifting up, pressing back, reaching forward, up, pressing back. This is a great pelvic floor exercise, strengthening all those muscles that have been really worked, specifically as women, as our bodies grow and change. Women or babies or not, this is just good female health right here. Sitting down, sitting up, pressing back, trying to keep those feet on the ground. Down, press back. A few more. Remember to breathe. Okay, one more. We're going to stop at the top. All right, bring those hands to the front. I'm going to turn to the front, and we're going to bring our knees right under the hips. Okay, so rather than being out here with those kneeling squats, we're going to bring it in just a little bit closer, using your core. Lower down to sit your hip over one side, and then lift it back up. Other side. Feels good for the hips too. Lift up. So it's just a very slight crunch and extension. Remember to breathe. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Guys, we only have 2 moves after this. Inhale. Exhale. If you want to raise your hands all the way up, it's another variation. You could also help assist that hip stretch by reaching over. Okay, make it your own. Remember me jotting down what name you want to remember these exercises by. Let's go 4 more. 3. Good. I am feeling this in my obliques. Last one. Okay, in the same nature of that twist, we're going to go back to our hands and knees. Not going into a full plank. Again, we want to be very sensitive to the needs of our core right now. And a plank just might not be the progression that we need to go into. So instead, we're going to have our toes on the ground. We are going to push up and hover, okay? And then from here, we're just going to dip to tap one knee down and then raise back up. Dip, tap. Good. Keeping that belly button pulled in. Remember that standing engagement. Dip and lift. Dip and tap. Good. I'm going to show you this from the front so you can see the angle that I'm twisting. It's pretty slight. It's not a big turn. Just enough to be able to tap that one knee down. Challenging. I feel it. Get one more on each side. Tap, lift, tap, and lift. Good. From here, walk yourself all the way up. All the way up to standing. Wow, good job. Okay, one more move. I did want to give you at least one standing exercise. And it may not feel like an ab move right away, but it is a good core and pelvic floor exercise. So we're going to come down, narrow squat. As you lift, we're going to twist elbow to knee. We're going slow. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Twist. And return to center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Up. Good. Down. Up. Twist. And center. Inhale up. Twist. Make sure everything stays in alignment. That's the benefit of going slow. Not only are you working on balance, but you're also able to really focus on the knees, the toes, where the weight shift is. And twist. Let's do 4 more, okay? Down. Now, I know we started on this side, so now the countdown starts for 4. Really control, I'm talking to myself here, control that leg, returning to the floor. Yikes, 2 more. Last one, keep that chest up tall. Good. Raise your arms up. Extend it up and over. Good stretch. Other side. And lift it up. Good. Come on down. If you can get back down to the floor with me for one final ask here. We're going to do just a couple of stretches here together. Let's take our arms and crisscross them here. Really rounding out through the shoulders and just lifting up. Really lifting through the core, helping release a lot of tension in the back muscles. You can also just go straight up from here with those elbows together. But any kind of extend twist. Good. Release that. Let's go the other direction. Retwist. Rewind and retwist. And up from here, inhale. Ooh, I feel it differently with this arm leading. All right, lift those arms up and all the way down. Let's go into one quick abdominal stretch here. Hands and knees, slowly letting the hips drop. And from here, push back, lifting with your hips. And again, right back down. And press back. Let's go one more, lowering the hips down. And pressing the hips back, good stretch. And then just come halfway up to the meet me back in the front. Reaching over, a little bit deeper stretch than trying to do this standing. And let's swing those feet around, going the other direction. All right, final stretch. We're gonna bring our feet out in front. And of course, stretch those hamstrings. That's always a huge benefit for our lower back. Good job, everybody. Walk your hands up. I want you to celebrate not just your body, but what you as a human are able to do. Not just what your body can do, but what you can endure mentally. The emotional struggles that you have overcome and persevered through in life. You are so capable, and you are worth every attention, every love, tender love and care that you could ever give yourself. You deserve it, you're worth it, and you were made to shine. So thank you for joining me. I care about your core, care about you, and we'll see you at the next class.